Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, guys. Let me get myself sorted out. There we go. Absolutely. Welcome to the microphone. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. Please, before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. You absolute legends. Now, guys, let's get straight into it in regards to Manchester United, of course, to the Mbeumo saga. It carries on, doesn't it? It carries on and carries on. And I want to give my little bit of a spin on things in regards to Brian Mbeumo and Brentford. I do believe that Brentford are playing mind games here. Look, Manchester United have made an offer. Man United have agreed a fee with Brentford, but Manchester United's payment structure is not what Brentford want. Brentford want more money up front, basically. So they don't want 20 million a year, for example, you know. So what it is, I do believe that this representative of Brentford has gone on Sky TV and spoken about the Mbeumo deal as a little bit of mind games, you know, to say, look, we don't need to sell him. We don't need to sell him. You know, in reality, they do. And all this bluffing, all this, basically reassuring themselves that Mbeumo is going to be fine. If he stays at Brentford, he's going to be fine. Listen, guys. You know, he's at a certain age now where if he doesn't get his dream move, it's going to be hard for him to get a dream move in the future, isn't it? So you think that Brian Mbeumo is going to be happy about this. But it just adds to the saga. It just adds to the drama of Manchester United's transfer window. And why do our transfer windows always go like this? Why are they so, incompetent all the time? Whether it's Murto, Woodward, and now we got a new team here. So what's going on? Culture at the football club, isn't it? Is the culture at the football club what we've been saying for a long time, guys? It's ridiculous. But I do believe that Brentford are really they're trying to play mind games. I mean, we were the king of mind games. You remember under Alex Ferguson, the king of mind games. Alex Ferguson used to get under your skin and he used to really irritate people, didn't he? I think this is what it is. I can read it like a book. I think that Brentford are trying to say, well, you know what? We don't really need to sell him. You know, he doesn't really want to leave. If he doesn't care if he doesn't leave. He will play for Brentford, blah, blah, blah. And I just think all this, I can read through this. And I think this is saving face, in my opinion, in my honest opinion. Again, it's just dramas, isn't it? It's something that we don't need. We don't need this type of dramas at the football club. We just need the transfers in the door. That's it. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, Man United should walk away. Man United shouldn't do this deal. What? And waste, what? How long we wasted? A month on this deal? Waste a month when we're almost there, literally penny pinching. We're right on the finish line. All we need to do is get that deal over the line and that's it. That deal is done. It's almost done. I don't think Man United should be penny pinching. I think Man United should just pay the money and just get out of there and go on to the next deal as well. You know, it is driving me mad, to be honest with you. I don't know about you guys, how you feel about it, but it is driving me mad because I know that the fee has been agreed. Right, but the structure of the deal hasn't been. I mean, typical Man United, isn't it? At the end of the day, usually it's the fee that is the difficult thing to get over the line, to get agreements with. But it's actually the payment structure of it at the end of the day, which is a bit embarrassing, if you ask me. Man United are being embarrassing at the moment, in my humblest of opinion, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream, everyone who's joined me today. Big up, John O'Connell. How you doing? Your carriers over Watkins. Going to get into that. Big up, John. What's going on, my friend? Big up, Sanjay. How you doing? And Albie, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Albie, hope you're doing good. Absolutely. Morning, Sal. Morning, Dembo. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, Bill. How you doing? Hope you're good. Timo, how you good, Timo? How you doing? Good day, mate. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, Freddie. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see Freddie in the chat. Good to see you, mate. And big up, Kevin. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Look, you know what? What I would say is that I want this Mbeumo. I cannot emphasize how important this Mbeumo deal is. I actually think it's going to be our most important deal this summer. I do, because I do believe this is a game changer. I think Cunha is a very good player, but the idea of having Mbeumo and Cunha together in the same team, it just excites me. It excites me. It makes me think, yeah. This is the one. You know what I mean? We're going to score some goals next season. We take out Mbeumo, we're going to end up playing Bruno in there again. And, you know, I just don't think it has the same sort of fear factor in regards to it. We're going from the best number 10s. I think this will be probably the best front line in Europe. One of the best front lines in Europe. If we get striker as well, it'd be unbelievable. It'd It'd be Mbeumo and Cunha. It'll be incredible at the end of the day. Big up, hope so, Tim. Big up, Tim. Big up, everyone. Good morning to you all. Good morning, Sunny Milan. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Big up. Team, I hope you're good, Bill, mate. Big up, everyone, of course. Freddie, let's please sign other players in the meantime. We can't be doing one deal in 2 weeks. I agree, Freddie. This is exactly what we've been pressing on over the last couple of days, over the last weeks and months. Man United seem incapable of doing 2 deals at the same time. This is my biggest concern. You could be getting the Mbeumo deal done, right? You could be doing the Mbeumo deal. That can take as long as it likes, as long as you're getting other deals done at the same time. And I agree with Freddie here, absolutely. And this is what we've been incapable of doing over the years. So then I look at it, I think, well, we haven't got Murto, we haven't got Woodward anymore. So what's going on here? What's the common demeanor here? The Glazers are still at the football club. They are slowing down the process because everything that we agree has to go through the Glazers. The Glazers are probably turned around to Ineos and said, you know what, let's try and get it on a payment plan. Let's get it for a cheaper deal, 20 million a year. Try and do something like that. And that is the biggest concern for me, that we still got the Glazers. Joel Glazer, openly, he's still involved in everyday operations at Man United. He still was involved in the Eric Ten Hag sacking and keeping, if you know what I mean, as well. Dabby says, good morning, how you doing? Imagine buying players quickly in the transfer market and then losing to Al-Halal. I mean, imagine that, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, football is funny at the end of the day. Look, people are telling me about the Saudi Arabia League, how poor the Saudi Arabia League is. Absolute rubbish. It's better than MLS. It's proven yesterday. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And Ronaldo said that it's going to be a big year league in the future. I agree with him. I think it is. Guys, I know people just don't want to believe it. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's not about doing deals quickly. It's about getting the right deals over the line. Okay, that doesn't mean that you just sit down and wait forever, because Man United are unique in regards to transfers. Man United have got a lot of work to do. We've got like 10 in, 10 out sort of thing going on at the moment. And we haven't even got 2 in yet. We got 1, right? Which was organized way back in April. Do you know what I mean? So Man United need to get a move on. And that's what I would say. This is getting too slow now, in my opinion. And now it is the 1st of July, guys. The transfer window. The financial year has started. We are here in the financial year. That excuse now is out of the window. No more of this excuse about financial stuff and all that. The financial fiscal year and all that business. That's out the window now, because it's now. Now's the time. The time is now, as John Cena said. The time is now. Absolutely. There we go. Big up, Bill, my friend. Big up, everyone, of course. We need a second team called Shed United. Take Rashford and Cole and tell them they are training from the shed until they move. Have a second shed for their agents and pot noodles if anyone is peckish. Big up, Mark. Bloody hell. I love the pot noodles. Oi, don't go in on the pot noodles. I used to love the pot noodles. I really did, especially the sweet and sour one. I used to like the curry one as well. Absolutely. Yeah, I used to like that. But yeah, look, you know what? They can train at the cliff. If the cliff is still there, they can go and train at the cliff, and they can sit in the old derelict buildings and eat their pot noodles in there in the freezing cold. Maybe they might have a little heater there. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't even know if the cliff is still there. At the end of the day, guys, big up, Bill. 2 months in the transfer window go. It's driving me mad. I know, Bill. It's driving us all mad. It's driving us crazy. Absolutely, as Suggs once said, it does drive you crazy at the end of the day. But what I would say is this, right? I am at the point now where I'm not going to be using the financial thing as a backup for what Ineos are doing, because at the end of the day, the financial fiscal year now has started. It's the 1st of July. We are here on the 1st of July. You know what I mean? We need to get deals done now. No more messing about, no more faffing about. This is what needs to be done. Man United did come 15th last year, and I know that we keep saying the same thing over and over again. We came 15th, we came 15th, we came 15th, the same thing every single day. But one thing I would say is that, you know what? Now's the time to make it a change. Change the record. Change it. Change the narrative. Now, prove to us that you are ready for the job, for the task at hand as Ineos. Prove to us. Because we don't care about shiny new stadiums right now. What Man United care about at this moment in time is transfers, is what goes on the football pitch. That's what Man United care about the most. The Man United fan base, that is. We care about what goes on the football pitch. We don't care about what's going to happen in 10 years' time. We want what's going to happen now. Where's the transfers? You know what I mean? Big up George Muscle. The Baldy is going to spend another 200 million. Probably, George, probably because that's what he does, isn't it? At the end of the day, Pep Guardiola has never been to a football club where he hasn't had money. I would like to see him go to FC Porto and win a Champions League. I'd like to see him go to Inter Milan and win a treble. He wouldn't do it, innit? He's a money mate. He's a money manager. He is a money manager. And his tactics are getting exposed now. He's got look, guys. People are clocking onto his tactics. They know what to do. Al Hilal defeated Manchester City yesterday by 4-3. How would you have guessed it, guys? Goodness me, Jeff. Would you have guessed it? Absolutely not. There you go, guys. It shows you, isn't it? At the end of the day, you can have all the money you want. Al Hilal rock up and beat you. I mean, crazy, isn't it? Embarrassing. Big up, Randy. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Big up, Lee Davies. Big up. That Baldy is going. Yeah, big up. I think I read that one. Absolutely. Pearl, good morning. How you doing? Now people are saying the transfer of Cunha done first is inflating the Mbeumo deal now. Is that a mistake? No. At the end of the day, that they're about the same price at the end of the day. But, what I would say is that this is just some stupid thing that was thrown out there by Newcastle United. Newcastle United threw out the Man United are extorting the transfer market. That's what it was at the end of the day. Ignoring the fact that Liverpool just spent 150 million euros on Florian Wirtz, right? Ignoring the fact that Man City has spent 400 million since January. They want to concentrate on Man United. Cunha was a release clause. A release clause. We signed Cunha for 60-odd million release clause. So that was already organised from Wolverhampton Wanderers. You know what I mean? So we cannot go override a release clause. It's ridiculous. That was a release clause. That is completely different. Now, whether Mbeumo's worth more or not, I personally think he's worth the money that we're paying. That is another story. But this whole thing where Man United are inflating the transfer market is completely and utterly stinks of jealousy and bitterness, in my opinion, from Newcastle United. And that is where it's coming from. All these Duncan Castles and things like that, all these journalists that support Newcastle United don't have the best interest in Manchester United at heart at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Now, let's get into transfers, guys. Obviously, Ollie Watkins, the news broke about Ollie Watkins possibly coming to Manchester United. Now, what do I make of this, guys? What do I make of this? Maybe if it's a year ago, I might have had a different opinion on this. But Ollie Watkins didn't really have a great season last season, if you ask me. He's 29 years old. He's still worth 40 million euros, guys. So he's not cheap, guys. We're not talking about a cheap player. His contract expires on 2028. Ollie Watkins will go for about 40 to 50 million euros, guys. That is a lot of money for a player, 29 years old, who wasn't exactly prolific last season, wasn't doing the business last season. The season before, however, brilliant. But last season, wasn't doing the business. So what I would say is this, right? There are plenty of other strikers that I would prefer. I will tell you that right now. Plenty of other strikers that I would prefer other than Ollie Watkins. But hear me out, guys. If it's the only option that we're going to go for, that or nothing, I would take Ollie Watkins. At the end of the day, Premier League proven, could score a goal, especially in front of Mbeumo and Cunha. Maybe I'll do that. But have we missed a trick with this one? I'm still extremely worried about Calvert-Lewin and players like that. I don't want Man United. Calvert-Lewin, not for me, is not the player. Even on a free transfer. No, thank you. He's a championship player. What I would say is that Ollie Watkins will be the 5th, 6th, 7th choice striker for Man United, in my opinion, out of all the strikers that I've mentioned on this show, guys. And I'm talking about Gyökeres, Mateta, Osimhen, Davies, all these players there, Ramos. These players there go ahead of Ollie Watkins, in my opinion. Ollie Watkins is a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player. But he's not the guy who's going to get you 30 goals a season. Absolutely not. But then again, is he better than Rasmus at the moment? He probably is better prepared to score goals than Rasmus Højlund, of course. Big up, Gav. What's the plan? 29-year-old Villa reject. I want to know what's coming up with these plans. Absolutely. Me too, Gav. You're joining the club. At the end of the day, look, I don't want to downplay Ollie Watkins because we signed players like that before. We've signed players in their 30s and like Teddy Sheringham from Tottenham. And I remember that was heavily criticised at the time. We've done that before, and this is we're no stranger to this sort of thing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, no, Ollie Watkins is not as good as Teddy Sheringham. I'm not saying that. But it is the type of deal that Man United did before. What I would say is this, right? if there was nobody else, right, would you accept Ollie Watkins? But this is where we are. This is exactly where we are. We wanted a full sale. We needed a full sale because of this type of thing. This is why we needed it. This is exactly what it is. We can't get Gyökeres. We can't get Osimhen. For me, Gyökeres or Osimhen were the number one choices for me. Those are the two guys for me that I think that would have changed Man United's fortune significantly. But unfortunately, now we seem to be going in the realms like slowly but surely we're going to be like, oh, what about Calvert-Lewin? What about Calvert-Lewin? We're going to be going down that road. Believe it or not, watch it. And it's going to be disgraceful. You know, this is embarrassing for me. And to be honest with you, Ollie Watkins would be a good backup striker. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be bad at Man United. It would be, but it wouldn't be. It would be a good squad player. As a guy to lead our line, I don't know, guys. I think we need someone a little bit more physically astute and someone who can actually, you know what, consistently put the ball into the back of the net and not be a reject, guys. Absolutely. George, anything over Rasmus is an upgrade. He is so shite. There you go, George. Big up yourself. Big up, Randy. Morning sale, here we go soon. Hopefully, Randy. Now we got the financial year is here. Of course, guys, the financial year is here. We are here on now. We got no excuses in regards to what's going on at Man United with the financial fiscal year. Now, this 1st of July thing is over, guys. Now's the time to do business. It's the time to do business now at the end of the day, guys. Absolutely. Bill, I think Monday Brentford will have a pow Monday and we'll get a here we go by Tuesday. There we go. There we go, Bill. I think it will happen. It will happen eventually, of course. Ephraim, good morning, Sal. Why are we negotiating if Brentford do not want to lower the price? Man United negotiate. Guys, I've said it 100 times. Man United are negotiating a payment structure. It's not about the price. The price has been agreed. Man United are trying to organize a payment structure with Brentford. Basically, how we're going to pay the money. Brentford want more of the money up front. Man United want to pay it in installments. That is what it is at the end of the day. Gav, Ineos said they were not buying players later years of their playing career. Now I hear we're linked with 29-year-old Watkins. Unbelievable. This club is getting worse, not better. Cheer up, Gav. Come on, mate. Goodness me. I wonder what your wife thinks. What annoys me is the Glazers still have to say, even though they have not put a single penny in. This is what it is at the end of the day. This is what it all boils down to, Timo. It boils down to the Glazers. The Glazers are the ones who are slowing this transfer window down. Until we get rid of the Glazers, nothing is going to change, in my opinion. Nothing is going to be any different to what it's been in the previous years. We can have the best bloody negotiator in the world. Look, we haven't got Murto Woodward anymore. We've got Wilcox. We've got Barada. We've got the Man City guy there. Do you know what I mean? We've got Vivel. And we all know how good Vivel is. What's going on then? Why is this still slow? The Glazers, isn't it? It's the Glazers. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Kenny, what's the excuses from Pep now to spend 600 million since January? Exactly. There you go. Overrated, mate. Over-bloody-rated. He's a checkbook manager, and he always has been a checkbook manager, Kenny. He cannot do anything without money. Exactly that. He lost Rodri last season. And bloody hell, they collapsed. One player, they collapsed. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. I mean... Bill, I think it's going to Ollie Watkins maybe shows we do not have the funds we think, or is it that we are looking for a top-class keeper and midfield? Man United have the funds. I'm not going to say that again. Man United have the funds. They just don't want to spend it, mate. That is what it is. Ephraim, and I know that from a very good source. Watkins linking us to please fans by their spins. It will not be cheap. Watkins is not cheap either. That's what I'm talking about. This financial year is all bollocks and pure excuses. Still can make deals before that. Yep. Ollie Watkins, we should not pay 60 million for a 29-year-old. I would say 30 million. There you go. Even that's quite a lot, Kevin. Big up, Kevin. Even that's quite a lot at the end of the day. We pay for this club, fans, and Ineos. The Glazers are taking us for fools. Forget us, not play for them. Don't renew your season ticket, Gav. Ephraim, we have to pay the money for Mbeumo. It will affect the preseason if we carry on. Absolutely. Absolutely. We have to pay. It will affect us significantly. I wanted the deals to be done before the preseason. Of course I did. You know, and this has been the common demeanor over the last few years that Man United never get their business done before the preseason. And this is what has been a thorn in our side over the years. We've never been prepared. every time we're going into the season, we're not prepared. And other teams who play us seem to be more prepared than us. And that is something that is unacceptable because it's been going on over and over again, hasn't it? Again, Man United, what we need, what at least I wanted to see is the attacking trio in regards to the 2 number 10s and the striker sorted out by now. You know what I mean? By the 7th of July to the 19th of July, where we play our first game against Leeds United in a friendly. So I would have hoped that would have been done. Now it's looking very bleak that is not going to be done. And this is Ineos. It's not to say they're not going to fix the transfer window. They can still fix it, guys. This is what I'm saying, because I'm not going to have egg on my face. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go balls deep into the negativity. But what I would say is this. We have every right to be concerned. I'm concerned. Everyone is concerned. Of course we're concerned. But that doesn't mean that they can't fix this transfer window. With me, you know what? There's a balance to life, right? There's a balance to life. You can have overly positivity, toxic positivity, guys. Do you know what I mean? Like those people on TikTok and all that who stand with green screens and start ridiculous things. You can have overly positive or you can have overly negative. Me, I'm somewhere in the middle, right? So I can look at things and I can say, well, you know what? JJ Gabriel, this, that, very good signings, very good for the future of Manchester United. Great. You know what I mean? Then I can look at it, Man United first team, transfers are ridiculous, taking too much time. I could look at that as well. And as I said many, many times, it wasn't about the 1st of July, right? 1st of July was just an excuse. I said that I wanted all the deals announced by June, end of June. That's what I said, end of June. And I expected it to be a here we go or an Ornstein bomber by the end of June. You can get an Ornstein bomber or you can get a here we go by the end of June, but we haven't done that. So what's going on then? Are we just neglecting the fans? Are we not communicating with the fans and reassuring the fans? Or are we busy? What's going on? Because at the end of the day, there needs to be some clarity what's going on. Because the clarity needs to come from the fact that Man United came 15th and had our worst season in my lifetime. All right? The fact is that. So what these ownership need to do, they need to start communicating with the fans and let us know what the plan is, guys. What's going on? What's the plan? What is the next steps? What are we doing? Why are we messing about? Etc. Do you know what I mean? Glaze Ineos, same old, same old. Well, not I wouldn't say Ineos because Ineos have only been here 1 year. But what I would say is Glazers. The Glazers are the ones. Ineos facilitated the Glazers. Ineos should never have facilitated the Glazers. We needed a full sale. We needed a debt cleared. Qatar should have walked in. Ineos shouldn't have took the 27%. Absolutely not. That was ridiculous and selfish. And it was just plainly a vanity project, in my opinion. Absolutely. Defense is absolutely. John will likely go to Man. APN, big up yourself. I've got a story about Mr. Duran, guys. I'm going to bring this in real quickly, guys, in regards to Duran. Let me get it up here. So, in regards to Duran, Manchester United were offered the chance to sign John Duran on loan and cover all his salary. Manchester United rejected this offer as they were not interested in him. Now, this is interesting. Man United rejected the chance to sign Mr. John Duran. John Duran's a fabulous player. I like this player. Why would we reject the chance to sign him? We're not interested in him, but we're interested in Ollie Watkins. Huh? Are we interested in Calvert-Lewin? I've heard Calvert-Lewin a few times last year and this year. Look, why are we not interested in John Duran? I don't understand that. It really confuses me, to be honest with you. It really does. How we can not be interested in that, but be interested in other things. Now, in regards to Manchester United's £40 million risk, 44 million. Manchester United could make a 44 million risk to solve major transfer issue. Now, what does that mean, guys? This is from the Manchester Evening News. Take it with a pinch of salt, as you will. But this is from the Manchester Evening News. Mr. Moise Kean. I mean, Moise Kean has been mentioned on this show a number of times in regards to a transfer to Manchester United. What do I think of this? 44 million. I don't like the player like that. I don't think he's that player. Played in the Premier League before, failed in the Premier League under Everton, if we remember. I don't think that's the right player that Man United should go for. Would I like Ollie Watkins or would I like Moise Kean? Which one would you like? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's very, it's like, a double-edged sword, isn't it, at the end of the day? Look, I expected this summer that we were going to sign a proper, prolific goal scorer. I mean, someone like an Osman, someone like a Eucharist, something like that. Do you know what I mean? That we could be confident going into the next season, of course, guys. Absolutely. But Moise Kean, has been mentioned on this show before because he keeps coming up. He keeps popping up in various media outlets. Moise Kean, Fiorentina, Moise Kean. And I'm like, my goodness me, are we going to go for Moise Kean? Are we going to go for Calvert-Lewin? Are we going to go for Ollie Watkins? Is that what it's all about? Is that what's going to get us into the Champions League next season? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, crazy if you ever think about it, guys, at the end of the day. Defense looking shaky, absolutely. Ephraim, Sal, in defense of Watkins, his goal tally is not that bad. 16 goals. He's not that bad, Ephraim. Not as bad as people are making now. I know there's going to be doom and gloom around it. He's not that bad. The fact is the price of the player and the age of the player. 29 years old, 40 to 50 million he's going to be. That is too much. You might as well pay the extra 10 and get another striker that is more younger, more of a long-term option. Would I accept Ollie Watkins if we sign nobody else? Yes, I would. I would. You know what I mean? I just think that, you know, at the end of the day, what we have to understand as Man United, we came 15th last season. We're not in the Champions League. We're not in Europe, you know, and this is the problem that we're facing at the moment in regards to attracting certain players. If Man United win the Champions League, Man United would have had Gyökeres already. It would have been already done. Osman has already said he wants to play in the Champions League as well. So what do Manchester United do? You know, twiddle their thumbs. They're going to have to find someone because we need a goal scorer. We need a goal scorer quickly, guys. There are other options out there. Gonzalo Ramos, as I said. Mateta, as I said. But again, are they going to come to Manchester United? Are they going to be attracted by Manchester United? That's the biggest thing. John Duran on loan to Turkey. Yeah, he's on loan to Turkey now. Yeah, we missed out. But why? Why did we miss out on him? This is what I'm saying. Why did we not want John Duran? Why we were not interested in John Duran? I know he's gone to Turkey, but why are we not interested in John Duran? That's the thing. I would take Jonathan David over still free Ollie Watkins. Jonathan David is going to cost 20 million, Kevin. The agent wants 20 million. His agent is a big problem. I don't think Man United will be doing that deal. He's a big problem, guys. And then not only that, he's going to want the agent and the money in regards to wages as well. It's going to be a bit of a problem. Big up, Gav. I'm just an honest United fan. If anyone thinks Watkins is the answer, then I'm sorry, you're not football people. It's opinions, but geez, come on. We need players who will make us better, not scramble around. Gav, why don't you come on the show and tell me about your Man United knowledge, mate? Come on the show, mate. Tell me about your Man United knowledge. Tell me how great your Man United knowledge is. Ollie Watkins is not a bad player. He's a bloody England international, mate, scoring in semi-finals of European Championships not too long ago. Let's not just downgrade players because he's not your favourite player. At the end of the day, I've been a Man United fan since you were not even a spud in your dad's bollocks, mate. So at the end of the day, let me tell you something, all right? Just calm down a little bit, Gav, man. Honest to God, calm down, bruv. You know what I mean? You know, but this is a community of nearly 12,000 people. You know what I mean? And I answer everyone your question, but you do come out with some sodding, miserable shit. Honest to God, mate. Come on, man. Sal, do you be a panic buyers? There will be panic buyers, and this is the problem that I don't want. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what I would say is that Ollie Watkins, he's like my 6th, 7th choice. At the end of the day, he's not my choice. I don't want Ollie Watkins at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? I don't. But what I would say is that anyone who wants Ollie Watkins, who thinks Ollie Watkins can do a job for Man United, doesn't mean they're any less of a Man United fan. I don't like that sort of thing. At the end of the day, Ollie Watkins is a goal scorer. He's proven it in the Premier League. He can score goals. Is he what Man United need? Probably not. Man United probably need more. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So what I would say is that people need to be a little bit more relaxed and calm. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, they're getting blocked. You know what I mean? Denbo. The season doesn't start until 7th August for us, so calm the fuck down. Big up, Denbo. I mean, you know what I mean, mate? Gav, I'm saying Osman, but he's expensive. Watkins not shiny enough for the Goldfish fans. Only Salah and Holland scored more, Lee. But you know what I would say, Lee? You know, to be honest with you, people want shiny new toys, and it's not necessarily the shiny new toy that actually does the best for Man United. I remember when I was younger, when Man United signed Michael Carrick, and I was like, Michael Carrick? What the hell? Michael Carrick? You know, and look, guys, he's not a bad player. You know what I mean? But he's not the player I would go for, but he's not a bad player. We're no strangers to love you, know the rules, and I full commitment. And what I'm thinking of you wouldn't get this from any other guy. Brain fart day for me, Sal. Sing. Big up, Bill. Big up. No singing this morning. Absolutely, I will do. Sal, do you trust Ineos if the Glazers do not involve in football decisions? No, Ephraim, because at the end of the day, the Glazers sign off the checks. The Glazers are still the ones that sign the checks. They're still the ones that do it. It's not Ineos. They do it. Ineos still have to get clarification from the Glazers before they trigger a deal. So at the end of the day, nothing could be fixed, Ephraim, until the Glazers have gone. They own the football club. They still own the football club. Ineos, as much as people say they're going to be in charge of the financial things, they're not going to be in charge of the financial things, guys. They have to report to the Glazers before they do anything. And that is what takes time. The Glazers need to leave. Absolutely. It's higher now. Big up, Gabriel. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. I like him, though, as a player. I do. Unfortunately, he's gone. We're not going to get that. The hair is love. Big up, Dabizas. Big up, my friend. Absolutely. Duran is having 60 million salary a year compared to Watkins, 7 million. Big up, Ashik. Absolutely. Timo, was hoping it will be De Gea coming back, not him. Big up, Timo. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Absolutely. Good to see you. UK Darren, we need to know why it's all gone wrong with Duran in Saudi. It's a difficult place to go, Darren, isn't it? He probably wants to play in a major league in regards to European football. A lot of the players want to move to... Look, there is news about... Look, one transfer that I think has gone under the radar, one player that's gone under the radar a little bit, Darren, is Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney's still in Saudi Arabia. Cristiano Ronaldo is still around Saudi Arabia. We all know what Al Hilal did to Man City yesterday. So it's not a bad league, guys. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So what I would say is this, right? Why don't we go after Ivan Toney? Ivan Toney, for me, is very good. I think he's highly underrated. I think he's incredibly underrated. He's very good, guys. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So I would have went for Ivan Toney myself. I wanted to go after Ivan Toney a year ago, before he went to Saudi Arabia. There we go. David has heard Al and a new bid for Osman, 50 billion of wages. He'd probably go there. David says their wage structure is the next level. They got a next level wage structure, mate, where we can't compete with it. Yale, good morning. At what hour? What a morning. City lost to Al Hilal. I know, mate. I know. Absolutely. Big up. Because of his wages, they did not sign Turan. I mean, there you go, mate. But then again, you got to pay for the best, haven't you? We're going to end up paying how much again, a week? Probably because Saudi Arabia extortionated his wages. He probably wants 300. But then again, let me tell you something, Ephraim. Let me tell you something about Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce don't sign players on high wages. This is why they didn't want Sancho. So obviously they could afford his wages. So why couldn't we? We're bigger than Fenerbahce. What's going on there? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Saviour. Morning, sir. Watkins can be better option if we fail to solve your carers. Big up, Saviour. Good. Your opinion, mate? Absolutely your opinion. Lee, Watkins is a raider similar to Cunha and Mbeumo. Makes sense to me. Big up, Lee Davies. There you go. Opinion is different, guys. It doesn't mean that they're lesser Man United fans because they have a different opinion to you. Just because someone has a different opinion to you. I've watched Ollie Watkins. I've seen great strikers in the Premier League my whole life. Every single striker that in legends for Man United I've seen, right? And I would say that Ollie Watkins is not as bad as people are saying now. At the end of the day, statistically, he's not. You know what I mean? Facts speak for themselves. But obviously, people don't want him. He's not fashionable. He's not a shiny new toy. Or you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I kind of agree with the fact that Osman, Ollie Watkins is not the guy to take Man United forward. I kind of agree with that. But would I accept Ollie Watkins other than nobody? No, I wouldn't. Yes, I would. Sorry. Yes, I would. Because at the end of the day, what are you going to do? I could scream and shout, and we can go, we want Glazers out. Say, we want Glazers out with their little banners. What's that going to do, mate? Empty the bloody stadiums. Give up your season tickets. Do that. That's what you should be doing. You know what I mean? Not just, we want Glazers out. Say, we want Glazers out. You could do that about me. We want Southie out. Say, we want Southie out. It won't bother me. Let them speak. But emptying the stadium would bother them, but it won't happen. Mark, we rejected Duran because of 340k a week. You clown, and right so. Mark Angus, your mother is a clown, mate. Goodbye. At the end of the day, you speak like that, you're getting banged, mate. Goodbye. I had United friend. How comes Fenerbahce can afford it then, mate? That's one thing I would say. Fenerbahce have a less wage structure than us. They're less richer than us. I had United friends who were linked, almost disgusted. We bought York in '98. They expected Kluivert. Exactly, revert 7. Patrick Kluivert. We all wanted Patrick Kluivert, didn't we, revert 7? You were around at that time. I was around at that time. We all knew who we wanted. We wanted Batistuta. We wanted Patrick Kluivert. We almost signed Patrick Kluivert. We almost signed. Just like Ronaldinho. You know, we almost signed Ronaldinho. What impact on history would have that had? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And what I would say is this, right? Rest is history. We bought Dwight York, fitted the system. It's not just about the shiny new toy. It's not just about the glamorous player. It's about the player that fits the system. And Dwight York was the missing piece of the puzzle, just like Cantona was the missing piece of the puzzle in 1993. That is what it is at the end. A big up revert 7, my friend. Big up yourself. Tony should already have been here. Too late now. Should have been. Big up, Lee. Good morning, by the way. Good to wake up. Man City lost. Absolutely. Be at revert 7, my friend. Neil Pele, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. What pisses me off about United? Only seem to discuss things during the transfer window. Where is the planning? I agree, Neil. I agree. We always leave things to the last minute. We always seem to dilly and dally when the deal should have been done a long time ago. There should have been. I believe that most of the deals that have been done in this summer window in regards to Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City have been started in April, I think. I think they started in April. What I would say is that the problem is that Man United just don't have a plan. They don't have a plan. They go into windows without any plan. And they could say that they can fill us with fake positivity about how the PR and all this, how they've been planning this transfer window for months and months. They haven't been. They planned a Champions League transfer window. That's what they did at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? They planned a Champions League thing, guys. But what I would say is that Manchester United need to get a move on now. It is July, and the time is here to do the deals now and try and soften everything up. Of course, guys, absolutely. That sounds more like a cheer than a protest. It is. It does, Dabizas, and I've been saying it for a long time. These banners and stuff don't work. Respectfully. Respect to people who do it. They don't work. Ineos, Glazers, ignore it. The only thing that's going to work is an actual thing that affects them financially. That's what I would say. So at this rate, slow, I do not think we can get a goalkeeper on midfielders. We'll have to wait and see, Ephraim. I hope so, mate. I hope so. I wanted York, no danger. You were one of a few people, but it worked out very well. Was on fire, Marcus Leonardo against Man City. Looks a great player. Man United should look at him. Man United do have scouts at this tournament. I hope that Man United are looking at these scouts, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, and looking at these players. I hope these scouts are looking at these players because there are some good players. And I've only watched it sporadically. I've watched the Club World Championship on and off. I haven't watched it religiously watched it, right? But I've seen highlights and I've seen things and I've seen players. I thought, wow, he's a good player. Why aren't we looking at him? You know what I mean? It's just Man United snooze and lose, don't they? Man United just want an excuse not to spend money. So what Man United do, they narrow their search down to a very small minimum amount of players. So if it don't work, oh, well, we tried. But then again, I do know that they have a list of players that they want. And hopefully they get their contingency plans if they don't get the players that they want. They could have rejected Brentford months ago. Waste of time they are. Big up, Neil. Morning, Marky Mark. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. United need to stop dragging their feet. We need everyone to before pre-season. I agree, Neil. Marky, I agree, Mark. Mate, I agree. This is one thing I wanted. One thing I thought would change is that we're going to get the players in before the end of the transfer, before the start of the pre-season, of course. Neil, to possibilities of Ronaldinho of getting rejected by Delap. What a time, lads. My guys. Never mind, mate. We got rejected by David Hurst. Let's not forget. Then we got Cantona. Remember that? Ephraim, so if you would have to choose between a goalkeeper and midfielders, goalkeeper, mate. Goalkeeper. All day long. Sorry. Because I think that Mainu, Bruno, Ugarte, Casemiro can handle it. Now the fact that we have Cunha and we have Mbeumo as the number 10s, I believe that they can handle that burden. I think they can. And the goalkeeper has been an issue because I feel that Onana's costing us too many points. He's costing us too many points. He's making too many mistakes, in my opinion, I like the lad. I think he's a good lad. He's a good person. But you only get so far as being a good person, don't you? Club World Cup rebranded Super League. It is Lee Davies. Eventually, they're going to rebrand it, isn't it, at the end of the day? But they're playing the World Cup Championship in America, which was a mistake anyway. Guys, it was a mistake. It should be played in Europe. And another mistake that they made, they done the best teams of the last 4 years, right? The best teams of the last 4 years. What they should have done historically as the first World Club Championship. What they should have done historically the best clubs in each country. So the best 2 clubs in each country. So, for example, England should have been Liverpool, Man United, right? That is it. Italy should have been AC Milan, Juventus. Right? That is what it should have been. Spain should have been Barcelona and Real Madrid. Portugal should have been Benfica and Porto. That's how it should have been, isn't it? That's how we should have done. That's how they should have done it. I guarantee you that the stadiums would have been full to the rafters. Full to the rafters. They should have looked at it on an historical level, not just the last 4 years. Not just the last 4 years. We built the Premier League, for goodness sake. Do you know what I mean? For teams like Man City to thrive and to earn money because of us at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? We're going to have another season of this. Onana is going to hold us hostage to wages. Big up, Neil. Big up, Darren. Big up yourself. Much love, brother. Good to see you as always, my guy. Good to see you as always. But one thing I would say, guys, you know, a lot of people come on the stream and they're angry. They're fuming and they treat me as a punch bag. But that's okay. I don't mind that. But what I would say is this, right? We got to, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we got to look at things from a fair point of view in regards to players that we want, players we're linked with and stuff like that. No, nothing is guaranteed. We could go out there and sign Gyökeres. We could go out there and sign Osimhen. They may not succeed in the Premier League. Of course, there's a huge chance that they might succeed in the Premier League. There is a huge chance. But every single transfer, I say it again, every single transfer represents a risk. Every transfer represents a risk. Now, my choices for striker are Osimhen or Gyökeres. Those are my strikers. You know what I mean? Those are the ones I wanted from the beginning. Those are the strikers that I wanted. Do you know what I mean? Revert 7. I agree, Sal. The goalkeeper needs to be sorted. Onana had 2 years to prove himself. That's long enough. Move him on. Absolutely, Revert 7. No, I cannot underestimate how important a goalkeeper position is. I can't underestimate it because people tend to look at the goalkeeper and they think, oh, the goalkeeper just needs to save shots and he's just there to... He has a confidence influence on the team. He has a huge part to play on the morale, on the anxiety, the indecisiveness of the team because it starts from the goalkeeper. We all know what happened with Peter Schmeichel, don't we? How many games Peter Schmeichel single-handedly won us. You know what I mean? A confident goalkeeper. You know, Schmeichel basically won us a treble, guys. You take Schmeichel out of that team, not only Schmeichel, but other players out of that team, but Schmeichel. You take Schmeichel out of that team, Man United wouldn't win a treble. As simple as that. And that's a fact. You know, you need a goalkeeper is so important. A goalkeeper can make or break you. So far, Onana is breaking us. He got us knocked out of the Champions League. He conceded that stupid goal in the Europa League final that he should have saved. And other endless mistakes that he's made in the Premier League. Right? Yeah, he's a good personality. But as I said, again, you only get so far with a good personality. You have to be a good footballer as well, guys. You really do. Absolutely. You have to be a good footballer as well. You don't have to just be a good personality. Oh, he's a good lad. Nah, mate. I'd rather be... Look, it was famously known that Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham never got on. Famously. It was famous. Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham never got on. You know, but what did they do? Professional. They got the job done. They worked and they got the job done at the end of the day. Bill, last season, away fans were taking the piss out of Onana when he was taking goal kicks. It felt embarrassing for me. Bill, it is embarrassing that your own fans would do that. Your own fans would laugh at you. And look, we don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I would never do that myself, Bill, by the way. I would never do that because I think that's counterproductive in a team. If you want your team to win, it's counterproductive. But what I would say is that Onana is just not that guy. He's a glorified Massimo Taibbi. I actually think the Taibbi's better. You know what I mean? And that is saying something, you know? Stanley Matthews, Sal, big up, Stanley. How you doing? Sal, shouldn't we compete our buying before pre-season starts and leave the selling to the end of the market? This is why we do get manipulated by freedom fighters. I agree, Stanley. I agree with that. Man United, the most important thing for Man United right now, Stanley, is Man United to get the players in. In regards to Rashford and Sancho, we go on the American tour in July. I think we go in mid-July. Leave them at home. Leave them at home. They don't have to be a disruptive influence. Just get the players that we need that are going to be our future. That's what we should do, because that's the most important thing at the moment, is getting the players in to change this football team. You know? I agree with that. And hopefully Man United could do that. We never do it. You know, we never get the players in that we need before pre-season. Especially in this time when Ruben Amorim, with his distinctive style of play, different style of play, that he needs to train the players, you know, and stuff, and get the players used to the tactics. We still haven't got, we got one player in, guys, you know. I don't see us in the top 6 next season. Big up Neil Pillay. I hope we do, mate. I really do, for our sake. Virilis, what's going on? I hope you know. It's useless. Amorim rates Onana and wants him to stay. But personally, I think the old club has told him to do that. Virilis, you said it there. You said it there 100%, mate. The club told him. At the end of the day, let me tell you something about football. Just like Brentford, right? Like, for example, Brentford said, oh, if Mbeumo has to stay, he has to stay. He wants to stay. He's happy to play for the club. Brentford are not going to come out and say, oh, no. If he doesn't go to Man United, he's going to be a disruptive influence and he doesn't want to play for the club. They're never going to say that, are they? It's going to devalue the player, right? It's going to devalue. A bit like Onana. Amorim's not going to come out and say, Onana's shit. You know, I don't really want him. He's crap. I mean, he's rubbish. He makes so many mistakes. He's not going to do that, is he? He's not. He's still an employee of Man United. He's still an asset to Man United in regards to if we wanted to sell him. Remember, Man United have got to get around 27 million for Onana to comply with FFP and PSR. So if Man United starts slandering the player, how's he going to go to another football club? He's going to devalue the football. We've devalued enough footballers at this football club. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Jason Collins, never any good vibes on this page. Jason, listen, there are many good vibes on this page. In fact, I've been claimed for being too overly zealous, my friend. If you've been on this channel a long time, you would know that I am very positive, one of the most positive. But I do not polish turds, mate, at the end of the day. I do not pretend that something is all right? I look at things from both points of view. If you watch the channel and don't just listen to your narrative, right? Because I think you're listening like just to your narrative. I look at things from both points of view, mate. I do say a lot of positives. In fact, I've been known for it. If you know me, I'm known for being overly positive. I've said Man United will get in the top 4 this season. Everyone in here will tell you that. I said Man United get in top 4 this season. I'm pushing Man United to do transfers. I'm pushing Man United to do the work, to get it done. Because I know what we can do. Right? I'm not here calling people peanut head, bald fraud, Portuguese fraud. I'm not here doing that. I back Ruben Amorim to the hill and back. People know that in this stream. I backed Erik ten Hag to the hill and back. People know that. Why? Because I called out Ineos. Is it because I called out them? At the end of the day, Ineos haven't really set the world alight, have they? You know what I mean? Let's be honest here, guys. I'm not saying they won't. Again, I've said it on the show. I'm not saying they won't. They've still got a chance to retrieve the transfer window. But, mate, really watch the show properly. You know what I mean? Really watch it and understand the positives and the negatives that I'm talking about. At the end of the day, Man United came 15th last season. There is nothing to do with positives at the moment. We come from Sir Bobby Charlton. We come from Dennis Law. We come from Sir Matt Busby. We come from George Best. Why should we accept 15th place? If you love this football club, you would never accept it. Right? You wouldn't accept it. You know, you would never accept it. And listen, I still managed to bring in positives. I still backed Ruben Amorim. I still didn't turn against Ruben Amorim because I knew the context. Why is Ruben Amorim struggling at the moment? Why? Because of the Glazers. And then Ineos, who facilitated the Glazers. Until that is there, that is a subject to be spoken of. That is what it's about at the end of the day. Big up, Kevin. What's going on, my friend? The last Villa person took from Ashley Young, Alex Ferguson signed him. Wasn't a bad player, was he, Kevin? Didn't do bad at Man United. Bill, The more I think about Ollie, it could be a decent number 9 for 2 seasons alongside Mbeumo Cunha. All Premier League proven. There you go, Bill. That's his opinion. Big up, Bill. We can't have Onana in goal. No way. Even Vitek would be better. I agree with that, Stanley. Maybe we should get Vitek, or maybe we should get Kova back. You know? Big up, Mbeumo. My friend, what's going on? United business is going from top to bottom. Cheeto is better than Watkins. Believe me. I'm very excited about Cheeto. But one thing I would say, Mbeumo, my friend, Stanley Mbeumo, one thing I would say is that, it's always important that a striker has someone to learn from, someone to be nurtured from. Do you know what I mean? It's always important to have that, because when you're young, it's very dangerous to put the pressure and the burden on one young player, especially in regards to scoring goals. It's very difficult, and it can harm the player. So I wouldn't mind both of them, Villas, I agree with Sal, but Onana devalued himself with that Europa League performance that got us out. That Champions League performance, I agree, mate. I do agree with that. He did devalue himself. But obviously, when you're working alongside a goalkeeper, for example, Villas, and you're face-to-face with that goalkeeper every day, don't you think it's going to be horrible to be working with him if you slagged him off in front of the media? Imagine that. Imagine you slagged him off in front of the media and then you have to go to training with him the next day. My goodness me. But I get you, Villas. I do get you. He's just not that guy, mate. I'll be honest with you. Tabby says, Vitek will stay as Onana. No one wants Onana, so we are stuck with the improves his performances or come. I mean, what Man United need to do, and Man United need to stop treating players like assets, stop treating them like business, like pound signs. What Man United need to do is drop Onana. That's what they need to do. Drop him and bring in Vitek, or go out there and get the buyback clause on Kova. You know what I mean? By the way, Eric Ten Hag really doesn't like Kova, isn't it? He went and signed another goalkeeper, didn't he, at the end of the day? Bill, I second that for Sal about positivity. Absolutely. Big up, Bill. You know me, Bill. You know that I call things every way. I'm very positive. I'm not negative. I'm realistic. You know what I mean? I've got realism as well. I try my best to squeeze positivity out of myself. You know what I mean? Because I don't like being saying bad things about the club and stuff like that. But unfortunately, we have to tell the truth. This is a truthful stream, right? The only thing we don't do on this channel, which other channels do freely, is we don't insult people, right? We don't insult our players. We don't call them names, right? We don't do things like that. We call things constructively in regards to their performances or their ability. We don't call them bald frauds and peanut heads and things like that and swear at them and this, that, and the other, what I've seen on other channels. We do it, we call it fairly, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, and partial, and obviously partially. Onana is more of a player than a keeper, jack of all trade. Big up, Mbeumo. Master of none. Big up, mate. Jason Collins, your statement is not correct. He shouldn't sugarcoat anything. Let's call a spade a spade. Big up, Mbeumo. Absolutely. Why you can't sugarcoat anything? I mean, I was sugarcoat. Like today, I've spoken about JJ Gabriel. You know what I mean? I've spoken about players which are positives at Man United. The youth team at Man United are positive. Chida Obo Martin is a positive. Ahmad is a positive. Euro is a positive. Mazrui is a positive. Aiden Heaven is a positive. These are positives at Man United. Dorgu, for me, is a positive. And a lot of people have been criticizing Dorgu, but I've been jumping to the defense of Dorgu. People know that. So at the end of the day, guys, you know what I mean? This is a football club. If I was putting on weight, guys, let me give you a scenario, right? If I was getting fat, okay? If I was getting fatter and fatter every day and I keep eating and eating and eating and eating, and my wife tells me, Sal, you're getting fat. You've got to be careful, right? Am I going to turn around to my wife and say, F off, you are this, you are that. You shouldn't say that. You are this, you are that. I'm not going to do that, innit? I will see it as care. I will see it as love, that she cares I'm putting on weight. I'll be like, oh, am I? I better get in the gym, or I better stop eating those cakes and yogurts and things like that. You know what I mean? That's what I would say, right? Exactly the same with football team. If I say to Man United, oh, Man United are brilliant. Everything is great at Man United. We're smashing it at the moment. We're fantastic. We're going to win the league next season. We're going to win the Champions League. Let's say that message gets over to the players on the pitch. They're going to think, they're not going to be inspired. They're not going, God, these guys are idiots. These guys are idiots. They honestly, did they see last season? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you got to have a balance. You got to be like this. You know, you can't be over there. You can't be like Gav, who's all the way negative, and you can't be like, another guy who's like the other guy on this stream. I've forgotten his name. He's always positive, far too positive. You got to be somewhere in the middle, and that's where you got to be. You know what I mean? Don't treat criticism as negative. Sometimes criticism can be deemed a positive, because as long as you know your flaws, you know what to improve upon, don't you? At the end of the day, you know. Big up, Mbeumo. Watch 75,000 season open against embarrassing again, Jude Eswa. I've said it, Eswa, Jude. The saving grace for Man United, Jude, is Man United to empty that stadium. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. The reason it's not only about the people with season tickets, it's about there are people who travel all around the world to watch Man United. So this is the thing. What Man United need to do is Man United need to pre-advance a stadium empty. And that is what's going to get the Glazers and Ineos obviously thinking and panicking. That's what they're going to do. Not only that, the sponsorships of the team. Another thing that they are clinging onto, the Glazers and Ineos. Another thing that they're clinging onto is the regeneration project. They're clinging onto that regeneration project. The new Old Trafford. That's what they're clinging onto. Do you know what I mean? If that gets rejected, that's going to hurt them. That's going to hurt their pockets as well. So Man United should really be fighting to stop that regeneration project going through. As much as you like the shiny new stadium, Qatar would have kept us at Old Trafford and built it up. Our stadium, our heritage. That is who we are. That is our advantage over all these other teams. Old Trafford, like Real Madrid and the Bernabeu. You know what I mean? Why do you think AC Milan and Inter Milan are fighting so tooth and nail to stay at the San Siro? You know? Big up, Kazi. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kazi. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Is there no... you would not talk positive about some Ineos lovers are toxic positive. It's toxic positivity, mate. I can't stand toxic positivity. I can't stand it, because at the end of the day, we're Manchester bloody United. What would Real Madrid, Barcelona do? What would they do? Would they accept this? Oh, it's all positive. We're nice compared to other fans. Our fans are nice compared to other fans. Arsenal are coming second in the league, right? And they're still moaning. They're still crying and still screaming and shouting. You know? Unbelievable. If we got Watkins for a decent fee, why not? He's proven Premier League goal scorer and Onana, worst goalkeeper in history. Benny, I agree with you, mate. As long as we can get him for a decent price, I wouldn't mind that, to be honest with you. Absolutely not. Dab his ass. But at 60, hell no to the no. By the way, happy birthday to Gary Pallister, who is 60. Wow, guys. Gary Pallister is 60 years old. I never thought 60. I remember Gary Pallister was a young kid, mate. Oh, my goodness me. Ephraim, Sal, what is your favorite food and drink? I have loads of food and drink. It depends whether I'm on a healthy trip. I like a salmon bowl. I do like a salmon poke bowl. I do like that. But if I'm going on a unhealthy one, nothing beats a big fat chips with donut meat and mayonnaise all day long. Dessert, sticky toffee pudding with Madagascar custard. If you know, you know, guys. That is what it's all about, man. Absolutely lovely. Absolutely. Bill, so you talk football, and as you say, you played the game. So in some ways, you have more skin in the game. That's why so many of us are here. Big up. And you, Bill. Much respect. I always appreciate you, mate. Really appreciate your comments, and I really appreciate you being here. It's great that I get to know people that I otherwise wouldn't have got to know. I'm getting to know Man United fans that I would otherwise never have got to know. You know what I mean? It's great. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Big up, Bill. Man City lost to Al Hilal, mate. There you go. People criticizing the Saudi League. They're going to get good, you know. They're going to get good. Keep going, Sal. Any channel will call you up to be on the panel. Thank you, Vilas. Yeah, I would go on anyone's channel, mate. I'll go on anyone's channel. I've had Saeed on this channel. I've had other people on this channel. I've had people in there. And they're more than welcome to come on here again if they disagree with me. I'm happy to debate anyone, anytime at the end of the day. And I'm confident that I will absolutely scold a lot, you know, at the end of the day. But They won't come on here because they know they won't come on here. But the fact is, fair play to everyone. Let them do their thing, and that's what I do. I just do my thing, and I grow my community, and we are family on this channel. So there we go. I don't want to sugarcoat anything. Yale, I like what I see from Dorgu for sure. It's not his fault that people cannot finish their dinner when it's served. Big up, Yale. I do as well, mate. I agree with that 100%. 100%. Guys, I want to thank everyone who's joined me today. Absolute legends, of course. Shane, anyone who wants your carers, how about you make Mbeumo gets done? Those Brentford's DFO Stevens are telling. Big up, Shane. Welcome to the stream, mate. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Hope you're well. Big up Earthfan. Big up everyone, guys. Thank you so much. Big up Stanley. On this note, I like yourself because you take every comment and not just paid one. Thank you, mate. I love Man United fan base. I love Man United fans. Unlike other people pretend, I do. Do you know what I mean? I do really love the Man United fan. Cheers, Bill. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Lee. Cheers, Shane, as well. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you're new at the end of the day. As a last option, John O'Connor, as a last option, don't forget to subscribe if you're new, guys. Very important you do that. And also, please don't forget to smash a like on the video if you guys can do that for me. That'd be absolutely fantastic. And also, don't forget to put the notifications on, guys, because it's obviously anything can happen in this next few hours. There could be anything breaking, isn't it? You never know. I mean, maybe I'm hoping, but you never know what can happen. Guys, have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are. I'll be back later on for Chatterbox. Please join me for that. Have a good day. Take it easy. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Take it easy. Peace.